Okay, we're going to look at some stuff with GoldenEye. I just want to reference one thing before I forget about it. Okay, look at the title for GoldenEye. You see this? See this red ring here? Kind of remind you of something in, where the hell is it up here? Yeah, in iPet Go. Okay, that red ring around Madonna's. This is Madonna's Super Bowl. Okay, I've decoded it out several times before. It's to do with Eli Manning and her Super Bowl on the 5th of February 2012. And what this does is this encodes the number 163. This whole thing here, okay? So what that means is, and if you haven't seen that decode, it's in the back catalogue. But just very quickly, you can even see in the tiers here the name Eli spelled out. Okay, and Eli Manning in that game was the MVP. Okay, in that very game with Madonna. Okay, doing the halftime show. And in that game, she's doing the halftime show. She does what? I've got a picture of it up here somewhere. Oh dear, this is going to be all over the place. I apologise. She does this. She's got a goat headdress on, and she's climbing on what looks like a golden dam. Yeah, and of course the golden eye would be at the bottom of this dam that needs to open. Okay, to release the damned. Okay, for the rebirth. So anyway, among other references to the golden eye, of course, but she does this, and so with Eli Manning, the 163 is encoded, and then when we come to this, we have a picture of Colne FC on the Hoover Dam, just like Madonna is climbing on the Hoover Dam with her goat outfit on. And don't forget the whole thing with iPet Go. It's called iPet Goat. This is a 1.63 here. 163 with the FC. Okay, 163. Also, this club was founded on 213, so there's a 213 reference embedded in there as well. Okay, because we're looking at the Hoover Dam for the 13th of February coming up. Okay, it's in the dollar bill. Yeah, the Billy Goat, the dollar bill. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with this now. So we've got this dam. So we've got this dam reference here. Well, in GoldenEye, the film, what does Pierce Brosnan is like one of the most famous Bond, or even one of the most iconic Bond scenes ever made. It's where Pierce Brosnan does the dam jump. He jumps off the dam on the big bungee cord. Okay, so that's right at the start of the film. So we've got this reference back to a dam, jumping off the dam, and in this film, I'll just briefly go through it. We've looked at it several times before, but there is a scene in the film where we have a tank. Bond steals a tank, and then he derails a train with the tank. Okay, and we'll actually go to a chart that I've got that actually is the numbers that are in that scene are in this chart. Okay. So, but what is fascinating about it is it's just the way the numbers all fit together. It's just absolutely nuts. So anyway, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. So let me go to this chart so I can show you the numbers that are involved in that, and then we'll get onto the 163 and Pierce Brosnan. Okay, because that's a long enough decode already without doing 100 different number jumps. But anyway, all you need to know about this chart, don't get confused by it right now, but we're really just concerned with the numbers that are inside this big box here, and these are all the possible cycles for each number sequence that exists. So there's a Fibonacci sequence, as you probably know. There's Lucas numbers sequence, and then there's one that I can't ever find a name for, so I named it pi. Okay, and I just call that the pi sequence because it just happens to start on 314, so hence pi. Okay. Anyway, each one of these sequences in turn has what we're seeing here has a cycle. Okay, so you just reduce every number that's in that sequence and you'll get a 24-digit repeating cycle, and there's 3 different cycles that exist, and that's it. Okay, and these are the 3 different cycles right here. Anyway, our middle balancing cycle in this table, when you lay out 1 through 9 just in order, our middle point is this 44 right here. So we've seen a lot of 44 stuff, and with the White Wedding stuff, with Charlie Kirk, we had a lot of connections to 44. Okay, haven't got time to go through them all, but we've got you. If you've been watching since the summertime, at least you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, when we look at this middle row, because this is all to do with balance, okay, and you'll notice that I called it the Queen's Cross because right at the top in the middle here is the Queen's death date. We also have Diana's birthday here to do with the temple. We also have the number 26, which is hugely associated with Madonna because she has the 2662 gematria in her name. Okay, and then we have the number 35 as well, 53, and these are all reversed down here. Super duper important numbers to do with the feminine side of reality. Okay. Anyway, when we go to the scene in GoldenEye, we've got several things going on here. We've got a train which has this number 745 hitting or being derailed by a tank which has the number 343. Okay, and it forms this sort of cross, the cross that Christ would carry, yeah, right here, with the train and the tank, which both have gematria of 2662 as well, and 46 with tank. Now, when we look at the start of this row, this is Pierce Brosnan's birthday right here. So it's already looking pretty darn interesting. But not only that, but they have Pierce Brosnan in the tank sitting at the edge of a tunnel, okay, with the number 247 on top of the tunnel, okay, and he's going to shoot this train with the gun on the tank, okay, and derail the train. And in that scene, and at the very start of the scene, where just before he steals the tank, there is a reference to boys and their toys, which is a reference to Madonna. Okay, I will leave it at that. Right, I'm not going to explain every little thing here. So there is a definite reference to Madonna in that whole scene with GoldenEye. Well, let's go to Pierce Brosnan's birthday now and take a quick goosey gander at his number jump. May 16, 53, again with the 53 there. Okay, that number jump through to the 11th, which is today. Let's check it. 26569. It's the 163rd square, okay, or squared. Okay, so it's 163 squared, the 163rd square number, I guess is what they call it here, I don't know. But it's 163 squared. That is absolutely blooming crazy. Okay, I'll tell you why this 163 is so important, and especially as a reference to Madonna. Let me show you something. We'll get off this chart. Let's go to this other chart of mine, chart 1. We'll go to the double cross of Lorraine chart, okay? In this chart, when we're looking at Lucas numbers, which 213, our date for the Hoover Dam coming up, super duper important. Okay, and all this stuff with silver, with the 47 stuff, super duper important, okay? But the middle of this thing really is to do with these numbers here, okay? And these numbers here are balanced with this number right here, number 29, okay? The 7 column, the 7th tower, is to do with balance between these two towers, between the twin towers here, the metaphysical and the physical, okay? Tower 1 and Tower 2. What we have going on here, though, is embedded in these number sequences, Fibonacci, Lucas, and Pi, etc., etc. Any sequence you start like that, where you take this number add the previous number to generate the following number, add the previous number to generate the following number, add the previous number to generate the following number. Any sequence like that, those numbers will eventually, when you divide, let me undo this. So when you divide, oh dear, when you divide this 18 by 11, okay, you will get a number, right? And that number will tend towards the ratio, the golden ratio, phi, okay? 1.61803 yada 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 yada, okay? So that number that you're going to get, the ratio you're going to get in here, as this number sequence goes on, those numbers get closer. The ratio between the two numbers gets closer to phi, closer to the golden ratio. At this point right here, between these two numbers, the number you get is 1.636363. So these are reoccurring, okay? The 63 is reoccurring. But it's 1.63 is our big number to do with this. Okay, so now you can see why this is so important with Pierce Brosnan there, because of that whole thing. Yeah, because of the 163 there. Yeah, and so, you know, the other numbers we've been looking at, and you've been seeing a lot lately, are, and a lot of people have been talking about this, but I don't think they quite know about the number 29 and the connection with Charles and Diana and the White Wedding and all the rest of it, is the 29 is the marriage of these two numbers. Okay, reduce them individually, it's 2, 9, add them up, equals 29. Okay, so individually it represents both parties, and it also represents them joined together. It's absolutely perfect. 7th column, 729 is Charles and Diana's White Wedding. Okay, the number 29 on its own is to do with the White Wedding. We've just passed the White Wedding date, okay, the day after Super Bowl, okay, 2-9. Right, with all that being said, let's go and just do some random number jumps. Again, this whole thing, again, links to GoldenEye in a big way. Okay, so let's do some number jumps with actually GoldenEye, and in fact, we'll start on the 24th of November one. It's right here. I got some random. I've got these ones in there. Notice the number 13 that's showing up again. Runtime 130 minutes. Again, remember, this is all pointing to Friday the 13th coming up. Okay. Anyway, let's see what we got here. So that was his. We saw that with the, and also just check out the 12772 numerology. Again, that's in gematria. That's in Madonna's gematria, which I had up here somewhere. And why don't I just quickly show you that so you can understand about the train. And there's the 127 with Madonna. And so if you look at tank and train that are in that scene, you can see the 2662, the same as Madonna, and also tank 6226. And there's tank is also a 46. Remember, Bad Bunny had the 64 on, okay, which is also really important. Actually, let me show you something with these number jumps with, I don't know if I've got them up where I've got them. Hang on a minute. I feel like this might be her here. So 6-4 is the Bond girl that Pierce Brosnan is rescuing. If I went to the thing, I could show you. Where have we got all the people? Isabella here. Okay. Natalia. She is a 6-4, 1970. Okay, her birthday. She's the goodie. She's the Bond girl. Okay, the goodie Bond girl. Let's look at this number jump through to the 11th today. 2297. Remember, 297 is our White Wedding number. This is absolutely mental, right? What else have we got? This is on a top. I can't remember the actress's name. This is the baddie in the film. We don't need to go to it. Look at this. through to the 9th. So we're looking at the white wedding date, 22555. Okay, now just go back to this last gal and just look, 55252. We've got these numbers associated with, again, associated with silver, associated with the wedding with silver, the white wedding. Okay, super duper interesting. What else do I want to mention about that? So we got 2 5s again with that. Remember, Diana's wedding dress train, which is train equals Madonna, was what? 25 feet long. Okay, 2 5. Okay, we've talked about it a bunch of times with Madonna. There's been tons of 2 5 stuff, and 2 5 also creates, when you do the digital numbers, they create the chalice shape. Okay, how many times do I do this? 52 or 25. Just write it in like this. Write in like this. Okay, and what you do, just join this up, fill it up with some liquid here. That's the chalice. Okay, the cup of Christ. Super duper important. And of course, in the film, they have this reference to Janus, which is the face off, which is the 2 faces. So if you drew a face, not a very good face, that's supposed to be a nose, and you had your other nose here. Okay, chin, neck, whatever. But that forms the chalice. The negative space there is the chalice, yeah. And this is the twins, yeah. And Bond and Sean Bean in that are the twins. Janus, okay. After Janus, end and beginnings, so forth and so on. And also this idea of mirror reflections again, which is what we're dealing with the idea of balance. Yeah, okay, right. Right. Let's get rid of that. Hang on. So, just some interesting stuff there. There was, hang on a minute, let me go back to this. Not this one, this one. So this is the release of the film. Okay, I think this is the US release of the film through to this day, was 11038. And I haven't checked this yet, but remember, what's his name? I feel like it was George Lucas. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it TX 1138 or something, the film that he did? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a link between the release date of that and this as well, or some date around here. But I'm just thinking off the top of my head now because wow, yeah. But anyway, that number there actually showed up. When did that show up? I had that in here somewhere. Oh, darn it. Yeah, let me see if I can find it, because the problem is I'm having to remember about five different numbers, more than 5 different numbers. Here it is. So what this is I have not got a clue what this is actually. This is, no, that's something random. I don't want in there. Well, I can't find it now. I can't remember why I had that. Oh, I know what that is. That isn't something random. That is, that's actually completely to do with this. Yeah, that's Madonna's marriage to Guy Ritchie. That's Madonna when Guy Ritchie and Madonna got married. That's what that is. 25 years ago, 50 days, 25 numerology again. 9181, and so this is what matched, I'm sure of it. Yeah, okay. 1138 prime. I think I've shown that before actually. But look at this. So that's one. So the 1138, and again with the 1138 on this number jump from the release of GoldenEye through to that date. Now there were some other releases for GoldenEye. Let's go back to the film so we can try and figure out what those were. I think one was 17th, wasn't it? Let's have a look. So we had the 24th and the 17th and the 13th. So let's just check those out. So if I could just get on the right tab here. 24th, 17th. Okay. 11044. That's kind of interesting. We're going to see some more clock tower. This is the clock tower number. This is well important as well. Okay, we don't need to click that. This is important with Charlie Kirk. All that stuff as well. and the 13th. Let's just check it. 148, that is very important as well, without having to explain it too much, but 148 is to do with Pluto, it's to do with the beginning of Lucas numbers. The 14th of August is a date that we can get to there, and I suspect, yes, that is also an important number with Madonna. The 14th of September, the 149 stuff, which we've seen a lot of that stuff with the end of the line with Back to the Future and all the Clayton references to the 14th of September. Okay, again with that number, with those numbers there, but also I think she got divorced from Sean Penn on the 14th of September. I'm pretty sure. I think we've got an interesting number jump for that in here somewhere as well. So you've got to remember that the 14th of September is also another interesting date for Madonna. So I think what we'll do, actually, before we get into all these number jumps, I'm gonna also talk about Sean Penn for a minute. Seeing as we're just talking about him there, because I want to show you something. So what have we got here? That's Madonna. Today's through to today's date. Her birthday through to today's date is all 9/21 stuff. Okay. Again, that's kind of interesting. We've seen a lot of 129 stuff popping up. Obviously, the stuff with the 29 is obviously very important with the wedding. But what did I want to show you? This guy, James Van Der Beek. Okay, he's just passed away. Again, 3/8 numerology, 77 again, very interesting with Madonna and Elvis. I haven't run any numbers for Elvis and Madonna in this date yet, but he's passed away on the 11th. So today was all these numbers what we're seeing for Madonna for today as well. So it would be interesting to see if there's anything connecting him to Madonna. So just run his birthday out to the 9th, because we want to look at the wedding day. And sure enough, he is palindropic, or was palindropic, to the 9th. Okay, 17871. Now, why is this important? Because this is Madonna's first husband. This is his, Sean Penn's, birthday, 8/17. It's the day after Madonna. I mean, that's pretty mental as well. They're basically 2 years apart, right? Anyway, I also ran out from his birthday, Van Der Beek's birthday, to Madonna's, just to see if there's anything interesting. 6779, so a rotational 6/9 stuff there. I don't know if there was anything interesting about this. Oh, 872. If that had been 871 prime, that would have been absolutely crazy. But 872. But let me show you something else. So note the 679 stuff, right? From his birthday, again Van Der Beek's, to Sean Penn's now is 6077. So we've got numbers which are marginally similar there. Okay, I thought that was fairly interesting, worth leaving in there anyway. Sort of some superficial connections there. Okay, this is, so now we're going to move on to the Sean Penn stuff. Okay, I didn't bother going and looking at Dawson's Creek, and I'm trying to think. Oh, my wife was saying he was in something else as well, which I didn't watch. But I do know that I have seen Dawson's Creek before when I was younger. Anyway, 8/16/58, 8/17 is this is Madonna through to Sean Penn. We've got the room 237 in reverse, but if we click that, we can see the 602, the 62 numbers coming back up as well with this. So it's marginally interesting, you know. Room 237, remember, room 237 is the bathroom. It's where the whore lives. This is what Madonna has become. She's the old hag now. She's playing that role of the whore in room 237, okay, out of The Shining, which is the bathroom, yeah? The bathroom is what? The Hoover Dam. It's the plumbing, yeah? Right. What else we got? When did they get married? They got married. Look when they got married, 1985, same year as all of our interesting films, okay? Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, and there's that the September the 14th, I guess. At least that's what it's showing here. Don't take. I haven't double checked this. I know that the wedding's right, but I haven't double checked that, and sometimes this AI stuff is absolutely wrong. Anyway, let's just look at this though. So this is interesting. This divorce date, because if we run that through to today's date, look at it. 13300 days. That is pretty immense. I don't think there's anything interesting about that, so to speak, apart from it's the 127 numerology again. But let me show you something else. 133. Okay, remember we had that number with Charlie Kirk in reverse, and that's the number 13 again. 100th composite. 133rd prime is 751. Remember, the last video we did Madonna was 157 stuff. Crazy again. Anyway, you see the 8911 there with triangular, which is like flipped around stuff with 911 and blooming. Oh, who am I thinking of? Matthew Perry. Okay. What else have we got here? This is Vanderbeek. We're back to Vanderbeek through to Madonna. Yeah, he's the 3/8 stuff, and we have had in the last several videos a bunch of 3/8 references, some palindromic 3/8 references, and again, here we go again. He's born 3/8, and this is 441 prime, which again, you know, going back to that number jump with this. Remember, the 17th, we had the 1144. Yeah, I mean, it's just the 14 numerology going on. What else we got here, Dan? Come on, let's crack on through it, bud. Done that, done that. I want to try and get through this pretty quick. Done that. Just did this. So here we are. Madonna's birthday through to today's date. I'm not really quite sure. I thought I had that. We were looking at the start there, weren't we? What was that? Oh no, this is, sorry. That's round the wrong way there. That's the wedding. Okay, with Sean Penn. I didn't think there was anything interesting about this though. Oh, that was what was interesting about it. There wasn't anything necessarily interesting with that number, apart from if you look at, if you do the old September trick, and change let me write it out. So they got divorced on the 14th of September 89. Okay, so if you switch your September out, it kind of is encoded here. Yeah, you switch your 9 for your 7 for the name of the month rather than the actual number of the month. Yeah, 14789. So that I thought was marginally interesting, worth keeping in, kind of fudgery, but whatever. Anyway, what are we on the next one here now? This is interesting. This is Sean Penn's birthday a couple of days ago, the White Wedding, 23917. Interesting looking number on itself, but 2662. Madonna Gematria. Okay, that is mental. What have I got here? This was just that again. There's the 2662 stuff. What's this one? Guy Ritchie's birthday, out to the Super Bowl day, yeah? 297 in there. We've got the White Wedding numbers. What was, just out of interest, what was he to this one? 2973. It wasn't anything amazing. Okay? But we had the 297 encoded in there. Okay, that's Guy Ritchie, in case you don't know who we're talking about, right? What have we got here? This, I don't think I've included this, but I thought I better include it because I want to show you someone else with Lords of Leon in a minute, Madonna's daughter. But this is Madonna's son, Rocco Ritchie, 8/11/2000 through to the White Wedding again, 9/3/13. Let's look at it though. 8160 composite. So we've got Madonna's birthday encoded in there. So that, again, hotspot, what we're talking about, and all this being interconnected. This is Madonna's daughter, Lords Leon, right? 10/7/11, or you could do this. Okay, so we've got all this 1/7 numerology, again, Temple, Diana, all this stuff going on to the White Wedding. Was this interesting? I've got 29 years, 119 days, and again, 1306, 136 stuff. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if that's interesting by itself there as well. It's not, not really. What else have we got here? This is looking at Madonna's divorce, November the 22nd. Again, interesting with the referencing Back to the Future to JFK, so November the 22nd, 2008, the 2008 in there. Let's go to that. Where is that now? Is this, no. Oh, this is, sorry, we're going to jump on someone else. I don't know if I've got that in here then. Hang on a minute. We could switch this out. Well, I think I got it in here though. Well, if I forget, well, let's just keep going before we start changing numbers around. This is Diana's birthday, Princess Diana, through to the 12th, or actually the, well, no, not the 11th, but to the 12th. We've got the 23603. Okay, click it. Again, 2626. So midnight hour tonight would be super duper interesting in relationship to this. Double time. I mean, the chance of this stuff happening is very slim. With all these different people, these numbers keep showing up. Very slim. 64 years as well. 64 years. This would be 64 years on. Crazy, isn't it? Okay, let's see if I've got that. Because I think that was something interesting. So we did these earlier. We did that one earlier. This is it here. So this is the divorce. Okay, now look at the divorce. Through to today's date. We got the 629 numerology. Now you'll know something interesting if you watch a channel about 629 is this right here. Who's that girl? If you look this up and you spend some time looking it up, you will find out that actually, and once upon a time, this used to say in Wikipedia June the 23rd, and they subsequently changed it for whatever reason to June the 29th. So we've got 2 dates for Who's That Girl. Now, again, if you go back to Diana, the June the 23rd stuff all ties into her age at this point, at the point of the White Wedding. Where was that again? Oh, dear, oh dear, Dan, this is the problem. Too many tabs, but I don't want to get rid of anything in case something goes wrong. I have to go back and redo this video. She's at the two, let's backtrack this a little bit. So on the White Wedding date, 2/9, she's 236. Okay, this is connected into Who's That Girl, yeah? So that 239, the 239 there is connected in, and also 629. Okay, so what I'm telling you is I got 2 different dates for this. So this 629, wherever the hell it went, between her divorce and this date is 629. Okay, so we're tying in with this Who's That Girl right now, this reference to Who's That Girl, which again ties into the White Wedding. Let me show you a clip from Who's That Girl. This is Madonna in the music video for Who's That Girl, the song. Okay, because there's also the film as well. The film Who's That Girl, which we'll go to in a minute. And who is the Hoover Dam? Okay, this is Billy Idol's White Wedding. Note the Madonna lookalike here. This guy, they've used the man, which is kind of amusing, with the unibrow and wearing the same outfit as Madonna. Okay, and Madonna has almost, in some of her videos, she's almost got a unibrow. But anyway, got the same outfit on. See that? Okay. And they're just having a laugh about it here, you know. It's just, you know. Anyway, the point is, this is the White Wedding, connection to Billy Idol, yeah, the Billy Goat, the Billy Idol, the $1 bill, the crash of the $1 bill, linked to Madonna, linked to Billy Idol, linked to the Hoover Dam, and, you know, is this the serious SHIT that we're about to see? Okay. So, what else to show you in here? I actually had, where's that? Let's look, see if I find that Lord. No, that was this was a GoldenEye one. Was there something interesting about this then? To 213, 11051. Must have been something interesting. Oh, 86 pentagonal. Yeah, okay, that's kind of interesting with Madonna as well. And then, just out of interest, Sean Bean and Sean Penn. Sean Penn has the 88. Sean Bean has the 155. Two super duper tied in numbers to all this. Okay. What else do we got up here? What was this one? This, we've already done this one. No, this is Sean Bean's birthday now. Okay, so Sean Bean, the baddie in GoldenEye. Did we do this already? No, we did. We've already done this. Okay, anyway, we'll look at it again. We're back to the White Wedding numbers again. Okay, except this is 2709. This is mixed up, jumbled, a different permutation, if you like. What is interesting about this, though, is this is Meatloaf's birthday. And Meatloaf, back in that scene in Back to the Future where Marty meets Lorraine for the first time, what happens? We have the reference to Charlie Kirk in that scene as well, just prior to that scene. But we also have the JFK reference in there. Okay. So it is very, extremely fascinating that this is also tying back with Meatloaf as well, in that order of numbers there. Okay, so that scene where he meets his grandparents for the first time, meets Lorraine, is just crazy. Okay, he's got the CK on his underwear, and there's all the references to Charlie Kirk in that scene. We've done it already. Okay, anyway, what else we got? I feel like I've missed something here. There was a number jump with, where is her? We did it. Here it is. This number jump with her daughter again, right? Let's just look at this. Madonna's daughter. There was, I felt like, well, maybe it wasn't her. Hang on, click that again. Just double check something. No. Well, I don't know what I've done with that number jump, but I'm pretty sure somebody in here, I can't remember now who it was. One of them numbers. Anyway, not to worry, it's not that important. But one of these number jumps in here basically had, if I had that Mr. Big thing up again, basically had another set of numbers that was similar to this again. Okay, it was just a different order. I think it was 9064. but I can't for the life of me remember which number jump it was and what it was in relation to. I'm just looking. We could be here all day looking through. This is Madonna through to Diana, again with the 151 stuff, and then the 177 prime, you know, the temple. It wasn't that. What in the hell was it? That's going to bug me now. I'll probably spend 5 minutes looking through it all at the end, and maybe I'll find it. I don't think it was any of them. I don't know what it was. I felt like it was something to do with. It might have been something to do with this actually. It might have been one of these. Hang on a minute. Let's see. That was the 17th. Go back to the 24th. Might have, not that one. No, that was 97 on the nose, I think. Yeah. Wasn't that? Maybe it was the 13th. Oh, Dan, you're just wasting so much time here. This is painful. I don't know what it was. Whatever. But anyway, I'm sure I come across it in here somewhere. I'm going to call it quits on that one. Have I shown? Oh, last thing. So, with this Who's That Girl reference, where the hell? With the Who's That Girl reference, remember the film. Remember what we have in the film. Where the hell is that now? Oh, and I've got to show you one more thing with Silver Price. In the film, we have that same freight train. She's in the Rolls Royce. Remember, this has red rum on it. And everybody's been talking about the year of the fire horse, yeah? The red rum, the racehorse, the red horse is red rum, okay? The racehorse. And this car, this Rolls Royce has, in the film, it gets red rum spray painted down the side of it. Okay, and also remember that 237, the room 237. Remember also in the reference into in The Shining is red rum. Okay, red rum. Yes, it's murder backwards. Okay. So anyway, this train, the end of the line in Back to the Future. This train, yeah, about to smash the Silver, the DeLorean. This connection to Madonna again. Okay. And one last thing. Silver price today. Silver price today. Let's go to what the high was. You won't believe it. I think, did I already mention it? There's the high. Can you just make that out? 86.01. Madonna's birthday. At 6:55 a.m. Okay? Super duper interesting. Will this come back up to 88 and then crash? 88 point something probably, and crash back down to, you know, it could be any number. 17's a nice number to do with the temple, yeah, so that could be a good number. But there's a lot of different numbers down there. $41 would be great with the clock tower, etc, etc. Okay, even 38 with all this stuff with Madonna with the 38s. I'm trying to think what other numbers off the top of my head. 25. Number 18 would be good. 29 would be really good as well. So all these numbers we've been going through, you know, a low figure would be interesting. And even the number 22 as well. That's also connected into this whole column here. Remember we were talking about all this stuff with silver right here. Yeah? The 86, the 222, all these numbers with that. Okay? I think that's it for the video. We've done the silver price, we've done everything. So also be looking for the silver crash at the end of the week. Friday the 13th would be a good day for them to crash silver first, wouldn't it? And then have that, then have the Hoover Dam thing. Oh yeah, that would be all sorts of chaos. I think I've got everything. Let's see. Later on, still got a little bit of time tonight. Later on tonight maybe. I don't even know where she is right now. I don't know if she's in England or where the hell she is in the world. But she could be sipping pina coladas with David Bowie tomorrow. Who knows? But anyway, 163. And again, the guy that jumps off the dam from his birthday. Yeah, in Golden Eye. Notice the red ring again here. Yeah, notice the red ring. You know, notice the red ring here. Oh dear. Okay, done. Thanks for watching. Good night. God bless.